Do you think so? It seems to me some of the challenges you've described earlier, which is that everybody's supposed to go to college in America.
Right.
Those kinds of pressures, as well as I think I was just reading the other day Matthew Crawford's book, Shop Class of Soulcraft.
I just got that.
Okay.
I haven't read it yet.
It's a really wonderful book where he's arguing about a recovery of sort of the intellectual integrity of the trades and of craftsmanship. So he doesn't want to see intellectual work be sort of white collar work. He wants to see intellectual work be work that requires you to use your mind. And he argues that he left a think tank with a PhD in political philosophy to open up a motorcycle repair shop, because he found tremendous intellectual stimulation in that work, whereas he kind of found himself doing things for no apparent reason in the think tank.
Right.
Wish more people would find that. But that's one of the challenge. And so his is a polemic for that. But it does seem that your narrative here does provide some challenges for that, where people don't think that, well, if I don't go to college, then does that mean I'm settling for something that's kind of low-tiered, and I have to kind of admit to my friends with a serious face that I'm not going to go to college.
Right. Well, basically, one of the things I would say is you want to be. So when Proverbs talks this way, it's better to. Let me summarize a bunch of Proverbs together, where it's better to be godly and sick than healthy and ungodly.
Right.
Well, that's true, but there are 4 variables there.
Right.
Right. And we normally just say 2.
Right.
You've got ungodly and healthy and godly and sick, but you could also be ungodly and sick, and you could also be godly and healthy. You could work with your brains for a living, and be digging holes and filling them up.
Right. Right.
Right. So make work with your brains.
Right.
Or you could be doing something substantive and real and stuff with your hands.
Yes.
But you can also be with your hands, be digging holes and filling them up, literally, physically.
Right, physically. Right.
And you could also be doing intellectual work that is satisfying, challenging, engaging, and stuff. So the problem with people who work with their minds for a living is not that they're working with their minds, it's that they're not working with their minds enough. All right, so now in this fellow, it sounds like he made the right choice, moving in that direction, but I would just suggest that there's another possible direction to move, and that is to find a think tank where they actually do some thinking.
Right, exactly. The productive work.
Where there really is a challenge, and there really is genuine debate, and iron really does sharpen iron.
Right.
That sort of thing.
And it's funny you mentioned that, because those are exactly the 4 categories that he breaks work out into.
Okay.
And sort of says, because of the way our culture has the disappearance of shop class from schools all over, it has been sort of this idea that intellectual work is better than manual work across the board, whereas he wants to say, actually, you can divide intellectual work into 2 different kinds: paper pushers and people who are actually getting things done and have a trajectory or a passion for what they're doing and a purpose, versus, he wants to say also, there is a kind of manual work which is like just another cog in the machine, versus people who are doing satisfying, stimulating physical work.
And in Proverbs, later on in Proverbs somewhere, do you see a man who excels in his work?
Right.
He will stand before kings. So cream rises to the top. If someone's a writer or a musician or a thinker or a public policy analyst or a backhoe operator, if God's called them to a particular thing, then they should be encouraged by the sermons they read, the exhortations that Christians give them, to be the best in that area that God's called you to, that you can be, and to excel to the glory of God.
Right.
Don't be a man pleaser. Labor before the Lord, coram Deo, and then as you do that, quality will be recognized. Quality will out, and so there's slipshod intellectual work, and there's first class intellectual work. There's slipshod craftsmanship, as many people have complaints about the guy who came over to do the plumbing. There's slipshod version of that, and then there's a God-honoring
excellence.